So this is now the third video for week 2, and we're going to be looking at support activities. Now we know that in previous videos we introduced primary activities, which are all about the transformation from raw materials or raw inputs as they go through an organisation through to the sales and services. And these were all directly related to the manufacture and sales of a product. When we think about support activities, we think about things which are behind the scenes, or the overhead functions or operations of an organisation that enable a series of activities to take place. There were 4 support activities identified by Porter, which are procurement, technology, human resource management, and the firm infrastructure. If we think about procurement, procurement is the processes which relate to all the purchases which are required for the business operation. So it could include all the raw materials, it could include the contracting for particular HR services, depending on the kind of business we're actually running. It could easily include the cost control, or the negotiation, the tendering, the writing of contracts, the finding of suppliers, how we find people to produce those materials, the components, the parts we need. It's about how we find the suppliers and how we look after them, the relationships we have with them, and what our expectations are with them. It's about the flow of inputs. It's about how we store them, how we control this. Do we have them delivered just in time? But if that happens, it has to be agreed and negotiated. And if we want things just in time, there's a benefit that there's no storage for us, but we really do need a good relationship with the supplier, because we need them to come in just on time. And if they came in late, there could be awful problems to our business. Procurement is not actually about the logistics of those materials, but it's more about how we actually find them and how they come into the organisation. If we think about the technology department, about the whole processes and the support and what the research and development activity could be, what new processes about how we manufacture products, how things we could sell, could we sell things in a better way, could we produce new products, are these opportunities to improve the processes, the value. Now some businesses have really large research and development departments, and if we think about the pharmaceutical companies or the car companies, and actually organisations spend a great deal of money actually on the research and development and trying to develop new products, trying to improve existing ones. It could be about the sales function or the communication function in the company, or thinking about the values of corporate strategy where there's room for development. And alongside research and development, there's all the design processes. How a product is designed, what it looks like, how it will be specified. In the case of fashion, what would it look like? How long will it be packaged? How long will it take to produce it? Looking at the need to ensure that designs are protected, patented and copyrighted, that sort of thing. The way to protect the development of research and development. Otherwise it could be really risky for customers or companies to actually invest in development if you can't actually protect it. And this is actually an area we talk about in more detail in economics, and why in some monopolies this is specifically allowed to allow for research and development to continue. If we think of the human resource management, and it's basically any processes which relate to the hiring, training and management of staff within the organisation. And it's really important if we think of the recruitment. We need the right people, the right staff, the right skills. They've got to be adequately trained and supported. They need to be motivated and rewarded. And we need to have some way of monitoring, of controlling, so perhaps appraisals and performance monitoring. Some way of making sure their performance is as good as we hope it should be. So just looking at ways of measuring performance, ways of disciplining staff, if actually they don't work in the way we expect. So HR management is really important. So making sure the right people are available to the organisation at the right time is absolutely fundamental. So we think about firm infrastructure, and this basically is the category which ties together all of the other parts of the value chain, anything not mentioned before. Most importantly, this is accounting and finance, the strategic planning, the management of quality, the legal advice. Firm infrastructure activity assists in the running of the business, and if it's done efficiently, it can help an organisation to grow, to be resilient, and efficient in the way it uses its resources. Depending on the size of the organisation, some of these functions may be outsourced, particularly legal advice, or even quite large organisations that don't retain their own lawyers. We look, for example, at our university. We don't retain lawyers on staff. Exception, of course, is the academic law lecturers. So actually, we retain from expert consultants.